Aw, shucks. Put hair on. They not ready. They not ready. Y'all know what's up, y'all. It's your girl, Osodiva, and I am the hip hop Oprah. I'm gonna be the R&B Oprah right now, real quick. Got Carvin Haggins in the building.
Pleasure. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to sit with you. I'm telling you now, it's a different kind of excitement because you've molded and shaped a genre of music, in my personal opinion, that's dying. Or that hasn't, it's not what it was as it was, but just the contributions, sir, that you've made. 2 Grammys, 24 nominations. And it's not just one artist. You're all over the place. I feel like you're responsible for a generation of children because the playlists, you make the songs, but no, so. Let me know. First and foremost, let them know where they can follow you or where they can stalk you, because we're gonna be done and they're gonna want to know you. So
everything with me is Carvin Haggins. So it's at Carvin Haggins. My website is carvinhaggins.com. My Instagram is at Carvin Haggins. My Twitter is at Carvin Haggins. Facebook is at Carvin Haggins. So
we ain't gonna call you by none of the other names you told me about. We ain't gonna do that. But let's talk, because a writer and producer, when did that even start? Like, how did you even know, as a man growing up, that you even had that desire to put the words on paper and then put music to it? Like,
it started early, right? And not with writing, but just with the love of music. Of course, you know, as a kid, your mom exposed you to music, and then you have the Saturday morning cleanups. And I remember every morning I would get up, get ready for school. My mom would put my coat on, everything, sit me on the edge of the bed, and like clockwork, Wake Up Everybody would come on the radio by Teddy Pendergrass is the singer of it, but Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, and Mr. Gene McFadden and Mr. Gamble and Mr. Huff are the creators of that record. So that was like the beginning. As I grew older, I just had an affinity with music, and my mom bought me a 8-track tape player of the Jackson 5, the ABC album, and I had a little rocking chair that I would sit in with my headphones on and rock and sing the ABC album. And then when I got older, my older brother he was gone away. And so I had my own room. He had a component set, but it didn't work. So I took it apart and figured out how to jimmy it back together, and I had it working. So I would listen to the radio from like 11 o'clock at night till like 5:30 in the morning, just listening to all of these beautiful love songs. And Me and Mrs. Jones was one of the records that like would touch my whole soul.
How old did you say you were?
At that time, I had to be about roughly 11 years old.
I just wanted to run back to that because you said Jimmy rig it back together, and we didn't have YouTube back then. So what were you just knew what pieces, or?
No, you know, I was one of those kids that took things apart to know how it works. And I used to take a lot of stuff apart. Like I took the TV apart, things like that. And so my mom bought me these Einstein sets, and it would show you how to move electricity and, you know, the wires to go from a battery to a light. So I was like very like
Jimmy rigging.
Yeah, and that type of stuff. Like one of those kids. So
ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. But the rocking chair and the melodic ambiance that just you were introduced to, that grew into poetry with a tune, or? No,
so it's a long run. So I'll try to make it short. I know I know the time is not, you know. So from there, we were living in a place called Fred Russell in Savannah, Georgia. So I was born in Philly, then moved to Savannah. So in Savannah, Georgia, we moved into this neighborhood called Fred Russell. And the way Fred Russell was set up, they were apartments up top. It was projects, but it was laid out like a apartment complex. So it's apartment on top and 2 on the bottom. So you had the stairs that go up and then over, and that's a porch. So one of my friends, I call him my cousin Carl, his house was facing the playground. And he and myself and Sidney Porter and Michael Roundtree, Anthony, Kenny, we all had this little thing that we would go to Carl's house and we would perform Mars Day and the Time, we would perform Prince, and we would perform Kool and the Gang. So I wasn't the greatest singer, but I was carrying the tune.
Right.
But you know, so we'd have our little shows in front of the playground for all of the kids. So that created that, you know, that like excitement about music. And then when I moved back to Philly, I got involved with hip hop and became a rapper. And so I was rapping for a while.
Carvin got bars?
Yeah, definitely.
Your bars?
Absolutely.
So did you put a rap album out for us?
In 86, in 85, 86, I released a rap record with my partner Andre Dandridge and Theodore Life III called, we were called Crusaders of Bass. We had a song called Don't Put the Bubble in the Pipe, which was an anti-drug record.
Yes.
And then the other one was called Death Vibration. And so, yeah.
Wow. I wasn't here yet when your album came out, but I'm sure y'all was doing your thing.
Yeah.
But it's just a beautiful thing. I'm gonna go ahead and go there just so they know, because they probably looking at me like, she's in a daze. Musiq Soulchild means something to me. And it's a different kind of thank you just for all of what you've actually put into what you've been raised in, and then you grew up and what you use it, and then to hear and see that in my age group, it's like I'm sitting in front of you. So I want to hear all of what you've gone through, what you did and everything like that, but we're just gonna fast forward for a little bit. So, school. Did you go to school for music?
No.
Wow.
No.
So you taught yourself?
Kinda, yeah.
Okay.
So again, just the love of the music and being a rapper, you start to figure out how to make beats for yourself when you can't get somebody to make beats. So I did that, but in school I was more into, in school I studied more business, right? So in high school I was in mastery classes. One of my classes was marketing and distribution. Okay. So I was into that, but music was just the passion. My father was affiliated with, I call them Whitehead, McFadden Whitehead are like my uncles. Okay. And so my father and them were like close friends. My father used to manage them. Wow. But they were like their family to me. So I saw that. And again, another thing to make you excited about music. Truly. Because who they were to the city of Philadelphia. It's like,
and you right there with them. It's
exactly,
like, wow,
yeah.
The behind the scenes is different. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm trying to like tiptoe up to this. You already know. But we're going to go there and then we're going to come back
Just jump in the pool. It's okay.
Because I love music. And it's like, I want to ask you, how many relationships were you in? Because for you to be the writer and producer for Musiq Soulchild for 1, 2, 3, 4 albums? Four. Maybe, maybe four. 4. Yeah, so it was Love and Music. Yeah, and the one after that one. So I think it might have been 5. Yeah. Okay. On the radio too, so yeah. Because it's like when you listen to the songs, you listen to the lyrics, like you're not just talking about one song or one perspective of love or one relationship. Like you're talking about so many things that everyone can relate to. Yeah. But for it to come from one person, where did all of that come from? Did you hear Musiq singing one time and you were like, oh, I need that. I think he would sound good. Or did you write it and then they found Musiq? Like, how did this work?
So, I was a part of a collective of A Touch of Jazz, Jazzy Jeff's production company. And in that collective, there were like creative people, like super creative, you know, Andre Harris, Vidal Davis, Ivan Barrios, Keith Pelzer, Darren Henson, but like all like super creative people. So I had the opportunity to be in that essence, but music came along because in the collective, I felt like I was the lowest man on the totem pole, but I was trying to discover and create something that made sense to me. So I was writing and producing with the camp, but outside of the camp, inside the same building, I was trying to find my footing and what makes sense as far as music is concerned, and what would be the voice of how I would want it to go. And after listening to folk CDs that I got from the library, driving around Philadelphia, listening to folk CDs,
music. Okay.
right? I realized what was the essence of those records, and like it just something clicked, and I was like, okay, that's where my voice is gonna start. So once I got that together, periodically these guys, Jerome Hips and Michael MacArthur, would come to the studio. They were working with a group called Aries, Ayana and Ayinka Hips, and they brought them through, and Jerome Hips was like, Carvin, I know this kid, he can sing, he's incredible, but I don't know where he is because he's homeless. So if I see him, if I catch him, I'm gonna bring him to the studio.
Wow.
I'm like, cool, perfect, right? So one session with Aries, he's like, yo, I found a kid, his name's Talib. I found Talib, I'm gonna bring him to the studio. All right, bet. So he brings him to the studio. This is the day before Thanksgiving. So we start recording the Aries record, and Musiq is singing backgrounds on the record. And I'm like, oh, he has a really good tone. Like, I loved the tone of his voice, like it has a narrative voice, right? So I was like, yeah. So in the middle of the session, I was like, hey Talib, can you come back tomorrow? He was like, man, yeah, I don't know where I'm gonna be. I'm like, listen, Jazzy Jeff gonna have Thanksgiving. We'll go over there and get food from him and come back here and work. And he was like, all right, bet. So he came, I came back the next day, Thanksgiving. We went to Jeff's house, got food, came back to the studio and started working. And it's been,
That's just a blessing, just in the story alone, just the grace and mercy just in you, because it's like, you ain't have to.
Yeah.
But everything definitely, it happens for a reason.
Yeah.
And just the actual journey, my goodness.
Yeah, so, I needed him the same way he needed me,
Right,
yeah.
right. So, again, writing-wise, where were you when Just Friends or Half Crazy or like any of your songs that you've written, where are you? What's your mental state? Are you in a room by yourself? You in a studio with the lights off? Like, where did that come from?
No, it's funny, right? Because I remember me and Ivan, my partner in production, we went to a session and we had throwback jerseys on and fitted caps, and the artist is like looking at us weird. I'm like, what are you looking at us weird for?
We cool.
He's like, man, I thought y'all was gonna have on like dashikis and head wraps. I was like, what make you think that? It's like, cause the music y'all make is like, nah, man, we make hip hop soul. Like, we rappers. Like, Ivan is a rapper and I'm a rapper, bro. We just happen to get in this thing. But where I was in those records, most of the records that you're hearing are based around relationships that I was in, or ideas that Musiq had, or things that he was going through, and I could like channel through him, like, oh, okay. If he was this person, this is what he'd do. Or we'll be talking about something that happened, or a girl that he had a crush on, or something like that. And through that, I'm like, oh, okay. And start putting words together to create the records. And of course, he and I are like brainstorming these records and making sure we're getting to the point of these records.
So what is brainstorming as a writer and producer? Like, are y'all sitting here and y'all just writing, or are you walking around in circles saying stuff that go to the beat, or like, what exactly is that?
It's a lot of things, right? So sometimes it's talking, right? We can be eating and laughing and joking and talking about something that's real funny, and then it's like, yo, wait, that's a song. That's a song.
I've heard that so many times.
Yeah. So that's me. If I'm talking about something, we're laughing and joking like, yo, that's a record.
Yeah.
We're gonna write that record. And then that's the record we write. And it comes to sometimes with the music, sometimes without the music.
That's what I was about to ask next, because you're not just a writer.
Yeah.
The producing aspect. Like, I ask a lot of artists this when I'm talking to them, but this is different, because it's you. Just producing, it's like the way it sounds and the adlibs that go with it, and just the way that we feel when we hear the song. We know that it's just not one person in the booth and you're not. So the production of it, how, I'm asking specifically about you, because it's like producers, everyone has their own way of doing stuff, but 4 Musiq Soulchild albums, literally from the first song to the last song, each one of them word for word, I'll give it to you. But that's because of the energy that you feel, of the relationship that you hear, and then that's actually created. It's like, whew.
Yeah.
And you start thinking about either your relationship or something you went through, but what exactly is that extra firework that I guess you put in it? Because his ad-libs are a song.
Yeah.
So I know y'all was in there like, nope, do it again.
Yeah.
I'm going half crazy, baby. Like, what exactly, how you putting that on it?
Yeah, well, so, all right, so half crazy is different, but like the I Just Want My Friend Back is actually an ad-lib that he sang, and I was like, we're gonna sing that in every hook because it feels like a part of the hook. Yeah. Right? So it was an ad-lib, and that, you know, and the ad-libs are orchestrated because that's the way Gamble and Huff did it, right? Mr. Gamble, Mr. Huff, that's the way they did it. So I'm following their footprints. I'm not trying to I don't need to recreate anything that's already been created to perfection. Gotcha. But when it comes down to like the sound of the music, in the beginning, it was a me thing because music was my brainchild, was my focus. I wanted hip hop samples with musicality and a live bass line and certain things, but then I also wanted the songs to talk about who we are as black people and how we experience our neighborhoods. So I wanted that, but I wanted it to be the most honest part of the conversation versus a man trying to be too cool, like he don't need a woman, or whatever the case may be, or disrespectful. It's like holding woman in her highest regard, esteeming her as woman, but still being an intelligent hoodlum, right? So Musiq Soulchild, the idea of that is the intelligent hoodlum. It's the thug that hang out with thugs but have respect. Come on. Right? So if a girl walk by and they try to talk and she don't speak, the thugs is like, F you, B. And then Musiq is the guy to be like, yo, my man, like, yo, miss, I'm sorry, I apologize for us. Yo, like, yo, be respectful. So that Musiq Soulchild is that guy, right? So those records and where we were and the creation of it is, like, Just Friends is really based around a girl that Musiq had a crush on who worked at Kentucky Fried Chicken on South Street that he made friends with, and they became friends, but he really wanted to be her boyfriend, but he understood the dynamic of it and he accepted what he accepted. Right? So the song Just Friends is based around that conversation, right? He told me the conversation, he told me the girl, how she looked, and we're talking about it, just laughing and talking, and then I'm like, okay, cool. So Ivan give us this beat tape, and on this beat tape he has a Just Friends beat, Paparazzi beat, and a couple other beats on the tape. So Musiq comes in, and Musiq's like, yo, I wrote this song to this beat. I'm like, oh, I was working on that beat. So Musiq sang the song. The melody he had was incredible. The words were not good. So I was like, okay, cool. We're gonna take this, and I know what to add. So I added the words to those melodies, and that's Just Friends. That's the record, Just Friends. So yeah.
Just Friends. Just you two together. It's like growing up, just like you said, times are different now. You see a girl walking by and she don't say nothing to you. It's just, F you, bitch, da-da-da. We don't have the same music as we did growing up, where women listening to the songs, that's the man that we wanted. The way that he's singing and talking, and just I guess the transparency that he gave with his emotions and how he felt. It's like, yes, but then you could sing and then you over here beat bopping with it too. And it's like, I love this guy. But reality right now, music isn't like that. So it's like I guess not necessarily the follow the leader aspect, but when it comes to music, you already said Teddy P. That's back in the day. And you play Turn Off the Lights, everybody two-stepping and they know it. But it's like, let's go there. We're gonna come back to Half Crazy. But I said to you, I didn't think that neo soul or the real R&B is still here right now. The kind of music that you produce with Musiq Soulchild and Faith Evans and Jaheim and Raheem Devon, and we're not getting those kind of songs. Like, what do you think is the reason why R&B or even neo soul is just like kind of non-existent or almost about to be gone?
Yeah, well, here's what I think. I think neo soul has disappeared because they chose to name it neo soul.
Really?
Right. I think they put a brand on it. And in Philly, we never called it that. It's soul music.
Yeah.
And what me and Musiq, Soulchild does is hip hop soul. It's really my rap lyrics. You know what I'm saying?
Just to the melodic.
Exactly. Right. So if you think about L Is Gone, that's really my rap. That's a rap song.
That's you.
That's me rhyming, and then Musiq actually sang it.
Oh wow.
Buddy is a rap song. Oh. It's me spitting raps, and then Musiq re-singing what I'm doing and putting it into melody and tone. So so Musiq is hip hop soul. So I think neo soul died once they gave it a name, and then put it in a category where it's way beyond that. Because Erica is not neo soul, she's like
world soul.
Right, exactly.
Like she ain't regular.
Right.
Shout out to you, Easy.
Right, and D'Angelo ain't new soul, he's the old soul, you know what I'm saying?
How does it feel?
So, right, that's so when they say neo soul, it's like, no, it's soul music, right? So I think that's the first part of it, and I think the second half of it is, no one wants to be honest anymore, right? We live in a world that everybody chooses to be. Actually, the most exciting thing is the phoniest thing on earth, right? So it's like, so people are choosing to not be real with themselves. So to have a real record that's resonating with your real soul, it might be embarrassing to some people, right? Because they don't want to be exposed. They like hiding behind whatever facade that they created. So I think that is the killer of it. And of course, when you have a machine that is pushing something to a community to turn that community into something else, right? It's like if you want to take away black power, you turn it into black ignorance, right? And then you promote it, and then you pay for it, and then you finance it, and you make ignorance look like it makes money. To a people who don't have money, they'll follow ignorance, right? Because they need to get money. So it's a whole lot of things in play.
Oh, you know you're gonna be in the Diva Den again, right? Because we can't, everything that we said, it ain't gonna be just this.
Right.
We're gonna keep going. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, I'm cool.
But I guess it's just heartbreaking because understanding the transition in music, and as a woman, and knowing, you could put on an old playlist, and I'm only saying old, we're gonna say like 10 years ago, that kind of R&B, and you in the mirror, you feel good about yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's a different kind of vibe because it was talking about love. It was talking about how you felt. You were saying you're sorry. It's like, I made a mistake, but let's work it out. I really love you. Now it's like, fuck you, bitch, I cheated. That's what's up. Now it's another good, like, fuck you too, then they got cheated. Now what? It's like, no one's gonna hug? Okay. But it gets to the point, I think, music has masculinized women in a way because the lyrics, and I've always been told your words have power. So you have to be careful of what you speak. So when you actually listen to the music of these rappers or these R&B artists and you really hear what they're saying, it might be a nice beat, but do you understand what you're saying over and over and over again? You're putting that into yourself, and it's totally changing your perspective or your mindset because you're not conscious of what you're allowing yourself to hear. So back to music, because Womanopoly. You talking about the neighborhood, and they make ignorance look, pretty, and they don't want to be honest, but Womanopoly is amazing. Where did that come from? Y'all was playing Monopoly, and then you was thinking about your boo, or what? No,
what's funny, the crazy thing about Womanopoly, again, just a conversation, we was talking, right? And we were just talking about how you play the game of life, right? We like the game of life, having this whole conversation, and then I was like, yo, let's write a song called Womanopoly. Let's just write a song. And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, yo, like a song called Womanopoly. Like the game of Monopoly played by how the woman played the game of life. And really the origins of the idea of that record is his mother and my mother. So those songs are that song is really about our mothers. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's what that song is. It's like, yeah. So that's a dedication to my mom. That's what that record is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah. But it's crazy what you said about the masculinity in women now. It's like when you look at the way music is even turned, it's a terrible curve that is turned, right? Because back in the day, I remember there was this whole thing about misogyny and how men are treating women in their videos, and they got the women stripped and all of this, right? And now every female video has that. So it's like now the women have become misogynistic in their videos to promote, you know what I mean, to turn women into sex objects. But it's just interesting that you brought that up, but yeah.
It's just frustrating because I'm sure everybody saw you on the clip.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And what she saw, what she said, excuse me, on the Breakfast Club made a whole lot of sense, even taking it back to slavery. But in music, I just think we're acting as if we don't have a choice.
Right.
And we're acting as if we're ignoring the fact that if you put yourself out there a certain way,
right,
you're going to be received or looked at a certain way because that's how you put it out there. Yeah. But as a woman, I just think relationship-wise, there's a lot of women who have to be the man and the woman because of certain situations. So it's hard being mom 24/7. You going to work, you coming home, you cooking and cleaning, you making sure the baby good, and then you deep breath for yourself, go to sleep, do it again. Yeah. And if you don't have that help or that support, you do create this anger or resentment, or you got to put your Timbs on because you got to take the trash out.
Yeah, I get it.
You know,
but my mom raised 5 of us by herself.
No,
she never was a man.
Shout out to you, mommy. No, and
I'm just saying. I know, I get what you're saying, but
every woman does it. I just think the way that the world is now viewing it, acting as if it's just come up out of nowhere. It's like men don't understand that their compassion and empathy is a necessity.
Absolutely.
In a relationship.
Absolutely.
We need that to feel like I'm a woman. I know that. I take this hair off, I still hurt your feelings. I cook, we good. But it's just like the submission that men want. They don't understand that I'm not going to submit to someone that's not leading me or showing me the strength to where I can take a break. Yeah. And if you're not doing it the way that's required, asked, or wanted, then I'm going to do it myself.
Yeah, I'm for that.
And it's ridiculous, but music, it's like TikTok, social media, Instagram, everybody's looking, watching, dancing, making videos. So that right there, how do you feel about music when it comes to just the portrayal right now with R&B and where it's going as far as, I guess, children looking and singing? It's frustrating because everyone's just looking and they're like, ooh, that's it, that's the one. What do you think?
So what's funny is I think we're having a surgence of good music again, right? So at one time, hip hop was the top streaming music, right? So they coined it as being pop music. Now it's declining, and R&B is starting to be like the major thing, right? So SZA, she right now has more monthly viewers than Taylor Swift. Right?
Why do you think that is?
I mean, I just think she connects, right? She's like giving a true emotion on how she feels, and
every woman that's going through can relate to
absolutely. She's giving them all And it's funny, we were at I was at the Jill concert on Sunday, 2 Sundays ago, last Sunday, and Jill's concert to me reminded me of what we made music for, because I was sitting in a position that I can see a couple standing up, holding each other, dancing. I see these group of girls up dancing with their hands in the air, this woman crying, and it was like all of these emotions, and it's like all of these brown people are here like remembering how great their brownness is. You know what I mean? Like she made a man feel like a man and never made a woman feel less. She made a woman feel like a woman and never made a man feel less. Like she, in her music, created like black love unification, right? And that's, you can see it in that whole audience, and that's the problem with music now. It doesn't exemplify that. It more or less is a for self, my issues, my problems, serve me, help me, I'm the best, I'm good without you. It's like a singleness in our music though, only in black music, because every other music doesn't do that.
So let's pause real quick, and this is no shade at all to SZA or Jill Scott, but I'm using this as an example because Jill Scott, you know, you just said she made music that made a man feel like a man. She never made music that made women feel less of a woman. Right. And then you said, now music is more serve me, it's about me, da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
But SZA has all of these views because, like we said, women can relate to what she's talking about.
Yeah.
Every one of them songs, it's a woman that probably cried like, that happened to me too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what exactly would possibly be the issue with the recharging kind of music to get a woman or a man into, I guess, the strongness of themselves to where we ain't gonna have to sit up here and even need music like that, SZA, because we're getting love, we're okay, we got it, everyone's okay. It's like, on one hand, you don't want to be selfish and you don't want to portray that type of narcissism. But on the other hand, if you are all you got to make sure that you got you. So music, being that it is so much of an influence, it's like we really do have to pay attention to us.
And great. I think when we say SZA, right, like looking at what she does, it's really good. Like she knows who her audience is, and she's serving that audience. The one thing, and it's not a comparison between her and Jill because there is none. But Jill always offered a resolution. Right? SZA is complaining about the problem. She's complaining about the issue. She's telling you what's wrong.
Letting the hurt out.
Right, and you got to get the hurt out. But there is no resolution, right? And I think with most of the kids nowadays, they all voice how they're hurt, but they never have a resolution. It's not resolution based. You know what I mean?
I understand what you're saying, and on one hand I agree, but being that we're all individuals, we're different. We're Carvin, I'm Oso, you know what I'm saying? It's for the music to not have a resolution in the song. I'm gonna keep saying the influence in music is dangerous because if there isn't a resolution, then you can actually find that resolution possibly with how you feel with what you heard in the music. Maybe you got that recharge, maybe and you're doing it for you. But if you actually do hear a song and it has a resolution to it, like I said, no shade at all to you, Jill, I love you. But you ever get direction from someone who told you to go the wrong way?
Absolutely, but here's the thing. Conflict resolution isn't always me directing you. Conflict resolution is to say, oh, he cooks for me, he takes care of me. Oh, is it the way he loves me? I feel so good, is it the way he loves me? Right, that's a resolution, right? Because sometimes you're feeling great and you have to find that thing, right? But then teach me how to love is a resolution-based song, right?
Show me the way to surrender.
Right. It's like she didn't tell him in the song how to do it. He's like, listen, this is the way I was taught. This is the way I was brought up. This is the way I understood. But show me how to love you, right? That's not instructing you on anything, but you showing me how I should love you better, right? So that's conflict resolution, right? So it's not telling you where to go or how to go. It's just showing you a scenario on how to find a resolution to that conflict. And I think that's what the music is missing.
The only reason I brought that up with, you know, the direction and it gives you, you know, the wrong direction maybe is because we all have gotten that.
You know whoop that trick. No, I'm just saying.
But you see that. That's what I'm saying. There's so many songs, and because you're a fan, you're going to listen to it 30 times, and now you're walking around mad buffing and somebody say, God bless you, calm down.
Absolutely.
But when it comes to just emotional music, it's forever going to be. Because when you're in your emotion and then you hear a song that could possibly feed whatever it is that maybe you don't have and you hear it in the music, so you're like, oh, I feel great, thank you. But just like you said, whoop that trick. You and your feelings, and then it's another song you like, yeah, I don't fuck him, because girls is players too. Cheat, I'm a cheat back, like, can we woosah first? But
I mean, Beyonce told him to put the freakum dress on.
No, Beyonce said, if you like it, then you should have put a ring bang on it.
Right.
That's what she said.
Right.
And then you did. So I started dancing a little bit.
And then she said single ladies while she was married. But
we gonna do this?
No, we not. We don't need.
Do this, Carvin? I'll pull out all of them songs to the point. No, but I understand. I definitely understand. And then it's the business of music as well, because the versatility of knowing your fans, you have to know what you're actually creating for. Truly. Now, you talking about how your mom raised 5 kids. By herself, never demasculine, like she was never anything other than a lady.
Right.
Now, when it comes to music and the influence or maybe the instruction or the encouragement that could possibly not be given to men in music, do you think that that's even a thing, or do you think that it's something that should be pushed more, or are we always gonna get the whoop that trick? Because we gotta know we got a strong, man behind us.
I think, I'm almost certain that that's going to happen. I think it is happening. Men are a little sensitive these days. That's just that's the world we're in. We're in a world of sensitivity, especially for black men. Everybody is
quiet.
Yeah.
Why are y'all so afraid to be transparent and vulnerable?
I think it's again, it takes us all the way back to the greatest promoter right now is phony. You know what I mean? So I can front like no man wants to be heartbroken no more. Like
that's a lie.
Right. No man's like, man, my girl left me. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Right? Everybody, even Usher, when he said, his girl left him, he was like, I'm going out, I'm going out tonight, you know what I mean? And do what a single man does. He still wasn't like excited about it. He was going through heartache and it's like, I need something to get over it, right? Yeah. So the reality of it is that we have a generation of people right now that are highly emotional but hide away from what they really feel and feel like phony is the best way to go. Yeah. But it's changing.
Please, God.
It's changing. There's some great artists that's out there. I mean, Raheem is still working, but
I was about to bring it up. First of all, you and Customer are they live here. For me, now Customer, let me serve you up. You can have it your way. You the customer.
Yeah.
Were y'all at McDonald's?
No.
Where did that come from?
All right, so this song is really funny, right? Story behind this song. So, Jive Records came to us and was like, hey, we need y'all to make a buddy record for Raheem. It's like, Raheem is nasty. He can't do buddy.
No.
You know what I mean? Buddy is a different type of person. Right, that's the friendly guy. Raheem ain't the friendly guy. Raheem is,
kids
you know what I mean? Right. Raheem is, he Mr. Woo-Woo man. You leave him alone, right? So we went in to work on this song, and Ivan had this track. So I'm listening to the track, and the way our studio set up, there was a isolation booth that we had set up like a lounge, and Ivan was sitting in there. So the track was playing, I'm listening to the track, and I was like, yo, Docs, I'm gonna make R. Kelly mad about this one. He was like, well, I said, I'm about to touch R. Kelly on this one. He was like, all right, so listening to the record, started coming up with this idea, and then I had a typewriter was there in the studio, so I was like, I want you to come in and write this record with me. So me and typewriter was in there, and so we started doing the record, and I'm like, yo, we gonna do it this way. So we write the record, and then while we're doing the record, we finished the record. I'm like, yo, Docs, I'm telling you, we gonna get Kells to come out the woodwork.
Stop saying his damn name.
Right?
Stop saying.
Well, listen. At the time, Kells was Kells. We're gonna leave it there. So, we're like, Kells is killing the charts. Kells is at work, right? So I was like, we're gonna get Kells to this one. So we put the record's out, and it's going crazy. And so we are hype about it. So Wayne Williams calls us and like, yo, we need a remix. So we're like, okay, cool. So we're calling everybody about this remix. A weekend, we get a call back from Wayne Williams. He's like, yo, we've been listening to the radio? We're like, no, we're not listening to it. We're in the studio. Like, we making music, not listening to it, right? So he's like, no, you got to get to the radio, man. So finally I'm driving, and I hear the remix to Customer, and it's R. Kelly. R. Kelly went in and did his own remix, and then the record he was like, I ain't here to diss nobody. Raheem, this sound like a record that I would do, right? And I was like, yo, Docs, we touched him. But anyway, yeah, so I love that record, but that record came from the idea of giving Raheem something that feels like a customer in Raheem's order. I mean, like a buddy in Raheem's life. Yeah. So that's what that record came from.
More of an adult aspect in the way of how you do it. But to hear it, let me serve you up. It's not, little kids ain't saying that. Little teenagers ain't saying that. So we understood where that was coming from.
And we kept it PG, right? So, you know.
all the grown-ups knew what you meant.
Exactly, right. But the kids never. The kids sing the song, let me serve you up.
No,
they having a good time.
No, they're coloring and blowing bubbles.
They having a good time. We like, yeah, it's cool.
No. Now, would you let your kid listen to customers? Your kids probably heard every song.
Yeah, they heard every song,
Now, kids, that's the plural.
Seven.
Huh?
7.
You have 7 children?
7 children, 3 boys, 4 girls.
I was gonna get up my heels at all. I was gonna leave. 7 children?
Yes. Where do you think these love songs come from?
We gonna get there, but it's traumatizing here at 7. Shout out to you, Cassidy T. That's my baby, the only one. But okay, so I guess through all of the music, was it you was going through different, and then that's where your relationship songs came from, or the?
Well, let's see. No. Actually, the only child that was created during my creation of music is my baby girl, Elijah. Oh. Yeah, she's the only one. I had already had those other children.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
How old is your youngest, if you don't mind me asking?
She just turned 19.
Oh, and your oldest?
My oldest is 36.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you got a squad.
Oh, yeah.
But it's another, it sounds like love, because you don't keep having children unless you want them.
Well, I wanted 10, but you know.
Cut the interview question.
Yeah, I wanted 10.
10
I wanted 10. I did. I wanted 10 children. I wanted 10 kids. I had plans on 10. And then, you know, reality set in. It was like, you know what? I don't want to be taking care of kids all the way. Like, at this point in my life, I don't have any child care issues.
Right.
So, you know, I could get up and go and come and leave and drive and fly.
Without a problem.
Yeah, I don't have to answer to nothing. Yeah, I'm not the servant no more to the kids. I was a slave to the children, so now I'm not anymore.
You was a slave?
To my kids.
That's what you call it?
Yeah.
Is that the dad, or that's 7 you're now a slave?
Yeah, it's whatever they need, I got it. Whatever I need to be. If I got to come and put my hands on some cats for you, that's done. If you need money, you got that. If you need my presence, you got that. Wow. Yeah, whatever you need, I'm providing, and that's it.
Let's go there. How hard is that, or how hard has that been for you to be all of what you just said for 7 children?
Not hard at all. It's not hard at all. In the beginning, of course, when there's no money, everything's hard, right? Because you're struggling through and, you know, trying to make sure you can maintain for yourself. Yeah. Right. But then after, you know, you find yourself in a financial place that is kind of steady, then everything you wanted to do, you do, right? So most kids like myself, you come from a single parent home, right? You know the things you didn't have. So my work is all about making sure my kids have everything that I didn't. Yeah. Pause
real quick. That is definitely a blessing. It's a beautiful story, and awesome to hear that for you is awesome. Now, what I'm learning from a lot of the generation that I'm in, when you come from what you didn't have, and you want to build that lifestyle or that support system or just that household for your child because you see what you didn't have, do you think that you go into excess when it comes to certain things, or?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And the sad part is that, you know, you do that, and then your kids don't have a hard part of life, so when things get hard, you're like, what?
What is
in
this?
school?
What is
what?
This?
talked about, that's too hard for what? If you don't get out, like, so you can't take the things that's heavy to them, is like, man, do you understand what I had to deal with?
Right.
And now I know what my parents were like, what? You know what I had to do to get to school? It's like, I get it now.
It's being a mother, definitely growing up and seeing all of what my mom did for me and my brothers and sisters, and even my father too. It's just like, whew.
Yeah.
So I'm not having no more. It's I was cool as the only child, but y'all want to keep having kids.
Yeah.
But no, it's just for you to have so much of that responsibility, and then to see men. I'm not sure if you saw, oh boy, it's on social media. He has 7 kids, and he told them that he didn't want to have children, and they still had kids, and now they're looking for him, and he's just screaming, I told y'all I didn't want to have no kids. Like, I was gonna give you the
Yeah, I don't even know who you're talking about.
See, but that's the thing. It's the generational difference.
Yeah,
you know, you see how when you're speaking about all of what you had to do, all of what you did, and the success of all of your children, you're speaking with a sense of dignity. It's like, I'm happy about mine. This is mine. Yeah. But it's other kids, and I'm gonna call them that because that's what it sounds like. Yeah. They're out here trying to be grown, and then that's where SZA get these songs from. Yeah. But then at the same time, it's like we have a responsibility too as women to make a choice and understand that 9 months is a long time, and then life and forever is not a game. And mommy's first. Yeah. So it's like, half crazy to me is never going anywhere. Yeah. And I keep thinking about it because you said you were at the Jill Scott concert, and just the emotions that you saw that were in there, and all of those songs came out when? Yeah. So long ago. 20 years ago. But we still love them, keep them, favorite them, and that's how I feel about Half Crazy. Just the mere fact, like, as soon as doom 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 doom, you about to sing, y'all. You about to sing, or get some tea. I'm like, never thought that we. I'm gonna start singing, but it's a beautiful feeling. And then Lucky Day. Did they run up on you, or like how did y'all sit up here and try to, not even try, y'all made twin songs? Yeah. Literally. Like the beat, I'm like, does Carvin know about this? No, but so, oh, okay. Yeah. How did that work?
So here's the thing, which is great. When Ivan and I started, we met with Mr. Gamble and Mr. Huff, and they said a lot of things that stuck with me. One of the things, they said that one of their records plays every 7 seconds somewhere in the world. Whew. Right? Somewhere. Every 7 seconds there's a song. Wow. And that to me was like impactful, right? Truly. Mind you, Philadelphia International hadn't released a record since 78 or 79. Wow. Right? Well, maybe later, because Phyllis Hyman. So maybe 80s, but still.
It's been a minute.
Right, and they're making $36 million a year off of radio royalties. Right? So those two things stuck out to me. And it just was that when you create great music, it lasts forever. Yes. And then to create great music, and then people like myself and Ivan and other producers sample their music, which create more revenue. Yes. So it was like, that's what we want to create. We want to create music that's so great, it can stand the test of time, it becomes legendary and classic, and young creators want to recreate what we've created. So that's what happened with Lucky Day and their production team. They recreated what we created, and we just approve of it. Like, okay, cool. Long as it's in the vein of how we talk, and it keeps the standard of what we believe in, and you're good with that. So. And
just the lyrics of Half Crazy, that whole song, what they were talking about, and then I'm listening to this like, what, but you keep calling me back. Like, but everyone can relate to it. I feel like just that whole reputation of Musiq Soulchilds music, all of what you've done in music, period. And I'm gonna keep saying Musiq Soulchild because he's in my top 4 of R&B artists, because seriously, you can ask my mother, you can ask my brothers and sisters. This is back when CDs, we was making mix CDs, okay? So Musiq Soulchild, you buy a CD and you put it on from the first song and you let it play through. You ain't skipping nothing. That's how you know it's amazing. But then the next day, I want to hear all 3 of these again. And the next album, I know all of these words too, but I want to hear the song from the last one. So thank you.
Yeah, yes. Again, that's a blessing.
I'm about to ask you something though.
Okay.
Because, you know, America loves America. That's why they got Mount Rushmore and presidents up there.
Right.
But if we were walking past and this was your mountain, this is Calvin Haggins' Mount Rushmore, who would be your 4 on your Mount Rushmore? Your artist that means something to you and had an impact on you overall, who would be the 4 up on your mountain?
On Mount Rushmore for me, you're talking about artists.
Artists.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Okay. So it would definitely be Prince. It would be Michael Jackson. Minnie Riperton will actually be there, and I'm thinking Teddy Pendergrass. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Your mountains in gold, okay? So ain't nobody go, that's amazing. All 4 of the folk that you said, but I'm gonna let you in on this because it was about 2 weeks ago. And I woke up and I'm listening, I'm like, I don't know what this song is. And it's Teddy P's, the world's looking at me, or what's the song when he's like,
right, yeah.
Sing the melody for me real quick, just say it.
I can't remember
Don't sing it.
No, I can't remember the, I know what you're talking about.
But
whole world's laughing at me.
Whole world's laughing at me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know why this song is in my head. I'm calling my father. I'm on YouTube trying to write the lyrics so the song will come back. And then it comes up and I'm like, damn.
Yeah. That record's crazy. Yeah.
It's not a game, but if you listen to the words.
That's Mr. Gamble and Mr. Huff there,
He was trying to tell, he
whole
felt
world laughing at me.
silly fool.
Right.
What? But why are men understanding that, hello?
Because everybody's too cool. Everybody's too cool. Everybody has their money. They feel like they've arrived. And nobody wants to be hurt, even though they hurt. You know what I mean? It's
That doesn't make sense.
It's like,
we in the house, like, I put my boo-moo on and you lost it, you lost it, and feel good about it. Like the windows is open, because it's just that feeling of music. But Teddy P, definitely. I definitely would see that. But I want to ask you, what exactly, or what kind of impact has Prince had on you? Because I talk to artists all the time, and Prince, of course, is in there. It's either Prince, Biggie, Michael Jackson, Tupac, and of course we know why. But for you as a writer and a producer, what exactly, who and what was Prince to you growing up?
Prince was, I thought he was ingenious at how his lyrics were, right?
Really?
Because his stuff was very nasty.
Y'all all love it.
It was very nasty, but the way he did things, right? Like when he did the song Controversy, right? So he created all of these things in his verses. Am I black? Am I white? Am I straight? Am I gay? Controversy. You know what I mean? It's like, so he's raising the ideas that everybody's raising, and he's letting us know it's controversy, right? But then he does a song called International Lover, and he orchestrates love like a metaphor with a flight metaphor, right? Plane taking off, landing, all of these things, right? Beautifully written, Little Red Corvette. He tells us a story about a fast girl, right?
Semantics.
Right.
Yes.
But he's not saying she's a fast girl. He's not putting her out there, but he's saying, look, you're a Little Red Corvette, right? I see pictures of the jockeys that were there before me, right? The wording is so ingenious, and it's so respectable and respectful, right? Instead of, oh, she a whore, woo, woo. He's like, listen, you're a fast girl. I see the pictures of the guys that was there. You know what I mean? The Trojans, he's talking all of this stuff, but it's respectful, right? So he's respecting a woman that he knows is living her best life, right? So even though it was done in a nasty way, it was just beautifully written. And to me, that is the thing. Same thing with Kenny Gamble. Like, songs are beautifully written. They're telling you a story of a man and a woman cheating on their people, but it's like, you know, Me and Mrs. Jones, like you can't get around it, or Cowboys to Girls, and, but it's all of these things that are woven together very well and stitched together stories that make you have to listen from beginning to end, like you can't tune it out. So Prince was that one that when I would listen to his music, I would have to listen closer. Because there's always something in an ad-lib in a far back that he says that you're like, yo, wait, did he just say that? You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, so that's why Prince.
Got you. I'm telling you now, I could literally sit here and talk with you for a very long time. That's why I said you're coming back. Because it's just beautiful to hear the behind the scenes of what we fell in love with and are still in love with. And then just understanding the engine behind it and where you are. Because it's like people say that music's created based off of emotion. But if you were angry or you were going through, we didn't hear that. Like you wasn't, fuck you, bitch. No. It was, let's talk. I'm late. Late. You late or you late? And then the way that he sang that song, it's like, you can get rid of it if you want to, but I'm here. It's like, it's up to you though. So the love that was in it, it's just, we could definitely tell the difference.
That song is about my daughter Elijah, actually.
Really? Wow. And she's here and everything's wonderful. Elijah girl.
But you know, I don't think the music is dying. I just think it's there's a renaissance happening, and there's a recreation. Like I have a production company right now with a couple of people. It's called The Ring. It's myself, Sean Penn, Yanti Strickland, Calvin Morrell, Carmen Loren, Ab Lava, Wiz Gam. It's a plethora of people. Stephanie Chambers, and we're just creating great music and bringing young artists in. So there's an artist right now, Kenya Vaughn, who we had the opportunity to work on, and at the end of April, the record that we did for her is coming out called Summer Never Ends. Need some good summer music. It's actually pretty dope. And there are more people that are coming.
Because y'all putting it together.
But we're creating it. And the industries are now looking at R&B music differently, you know, but it is a business. It
truly is a business. Now, real quick, I ain't kicking you out, but your website right now, and I believe it was a book that you actually put out? Now, where did that come from?
So the book was created because every day I would put on Facebook my CGH thought, right? So like God will give me a word and I'll just post it on there and say CGH thought. So a friend of mine took all of those things and made a book and gave it to me. It was like, yo, happy birthday.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, oh, this is actually pretty dope.
It's beautiful.
I'm like, wait, can you send me the files for this? Because I want to actually put this in a real book. Right. It's like, you know, these are things that God is filling me with, but I would love to give it to the people. So Amanda is the reason why that book was created. And so it's just all of my thoughts on my random thoughts, you know.
Is it on your website?
It's available. You can buy it on the website. And I
love you. I don't have a problem saying it because I love music too. And I truly love your work and the way that the generational difference, we keep saying it, it's obvious. But even from Teddy P to you to music, like we can tell the transformation when it comes to music or the evolution, and we have to go with it. But for you to make timeless music that will always just give us what we need, or that message to the beautiful tune is really needed. And we're scared, you know, because like you said, everybody's hyped because they, you know, they look good, or, you know, they post a picture of their friend's jacket. They just got a shape up, so 250 likes, they think they doing something. But before we leave, there's one thing that you could tell an artist right now, or engineer, producer, writer right now that's doing what they're doing, and they feeling some type of way. Like maybe they feeling like either they want to quit or they're just not feeling it. What would you tell them?
I don't know, because I never felt that way. I've never felt like I didn't want to do music. Like, if music never made me money, I would still be doing it.
Yeah.
Like, cause it's never been my drive for anything but creation. So, what I will say is that everything great requires hard work, dedication, and everything great is gonna always feel like it's not working longer than it's gonna feel like it is working.
No,
but once it start working,
Sorry.
But once it start working, you'll never remember the times that it wasn't working.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, So I just say, if you believe in what you're doing, and you believe in you, bet on you, and operate in the idea of what you believe in versus anybody else's belief.
Keep going. Keep going.
Yeah.
I'm listening to Half Crazy all day and tomorrow and the next day, but it is truly an honor, and I definitely thank you for coming in the Diva Den with me, just so I can get your business. And I'm telling you, we're gonna come back.
Okay, I'm available, and I thank you for having me. And it's a pleasure that you reached out, and you know, again, for me being here is definitely a pleasure, and I thank you for having me.
You're welcome. We got to shout out Avenue Black, truly, because it's beautiful in here. Okay, it is beautiful, and. Artists, I'm gonna throw this out there because y'all doing what y'all doing, you gotta make sure you check out Carmen Alexandra.
Okay.
I actually was on set for the Game Boy video. We shot that a little while ago, but she's a different essence, and her energy, what she's doing, and she knows what she's doing. So I'm more than sure. I'm gonna see you over there. I'm gonna say what up, big yacht. You go, hey, what's up, sis? That's fair. So no, I'm more than sure we're gonna see you. But again. It's a beautiful feeling to know that the essence of music isn't gone.
Yeah.
You know, and we not about to, fuck you, bitch, we not doing that forever. Go over there.
Yeah.
But everyone, it's nothing but hugs and kisses because it's your girl, Osodiva, the hip-hop Oprah, but we the R&B Oprah, but it's me. And we had to sit up here and talk to him. So I put on some hair for y'all, okay? I had to get cute so we could sit here and talk, but y'all make sure you're doing what you're supposed to do so you can do what you want with no issues, okay? Keep it diva, please. Make sure, my bang, we good? All right.